Warwick Thornton's award-winning debut follows the budding romance between two Aboriginal teens. Hard-working Delilah and petrol-sniffing tearaway Samson. Warwick, you said yesterday that cinema saved your life. How did it save your life?
You know, growing up in Alice Springs, I was a bit of a runner muck. I spent most of my teenagehood on the streets. I was very unfocused and very wayward and had no real direction in life. And fortunately, I found cinema. You know, I got a job as a camera assistant on a documentary, and then suddenly I found, you know, that there's this amazing thing of storytelling.
Thornton's coming-of-age story sees the young couple running away, only to find the outside world is even harsher than their impoverished and isolated community.
It kind of worked for me because Aboriginal culture, my culture, is it's an oral history, so we have this huge sort of thing of telling stories, morals, you know, and that's how our law is passed down and our culture is passed down from the elders to the kids.
You know, I was in love once. It was bloody lovely.
I think you had something like 2,500 people, mostly Aboriginal, show up for your premiere in Australia.
Yep.
That must have been amazing if this film is made for that.
Incredibly scary. Because if they didn't like it, they would have spared me.
But they did like it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the beautiful thing about cinema, is that we're giving it to the families, we're giving it to the core essence of Indigenous people.
It's not a film with much dialogue.
And that's the reality, that's my life. You know, and when I was a kid, when I was 14 years of age, I couldn't talk to a girl in some kind of Hannah Montana, you know, piece of, you know, dialogue. You know, I'd throw rocks at her to get her attention. You know, when you have your first love, you know, you don't have those monologues with that person. It's the distance and it's the little touches and the looks that happen. And they're the sparks that turn into bushfires inside you, you know? So, you know, it's real to me.
Samson and Delilah is a universal story. A rare glimpse into an Indigenous minority that's still dealing with the legacy of the stolen generation. A 30-year injustice that saw children forcibly removed by the state. What did it feel like when the Australian Prime Minister turned around and made that apology for the stolen generation?
I was really happy for my grandmother and my grandfather. I was really happy for them. That sort of stuff is always a step forward. But it doesn't change anything. It doesn't put food on tables. It doesn't fix toilets, and it doesn't stop violence. You know what I mean?
So what needs to be done now?
Hey, this is really, yeah, I don't have answers, I have questions.
So what are your questions?
Who are we? Where do we come from? And where do we want to go?
You've got a long filmmaking career ahead of you.
I know, you love me too. Won't you come over, darling? Make everything right.